If you haven't seen my ladle yet, it's a kind of simple yet kind of a pretty cool looking result. I want to repeat my success. This is my third attempt to carve a thumbs up, and I think I'm getting a bit better. At least that's my opinion. If you want to venture in carving, this is actually not that complicated project that it may seem to be. Especially considering that you always have a model to look at, your right or left hand. So the first, after roughly preparing the carving media, is to make an initial layout on 2D projections. The better and proportionally you can do it, the better it will be the result. This time I try to do it by eye, and next time I may try to print out the projections and see if that can give me a better result. In any case, as soon as the initial layout is done, it's time to start removing wood. For this, it makes more sense to start with the thumbs shape, first getting its shape from the front projection, and then moving to refine its width, or kind of define its width and refine its width from the other projection. You can actually do other refinements like rounding and add a detail like fingernails, or you can actually defer it to a little bit at a later stage. Afterwards, I just try to define palm or somehow separation between fingers and palm and try to remove as much material as I seem necessary. This way I can actually roughly shape the palm and prepare for the shaping of individual fingers. However, before starting with the fingers, I realized that I also need to define planes for the back of the hand and basically vertical projection of the fingers and the corresponding knuckles. You can approximately guess the angles by looking at your model, like I was looking at my hand, from the top and roughly transfer these angles to two planes. You can actually see me counting the fingers and joints, so I was double checking how many planes I actually need to establish on the back of this on the back of the hand. This is a reasonably simple process, and you don't have to be an artist for that. You just have to be a little bit careful. My plan for the next time is actually to prepare projections on my computer and just use printout to transfer and then check against them while carving, but that would be the next time. Now, time to do many more refinements. First, I still had to go a little bit deeper on the palm and a bit more carefully define plane where the fingers will be carved. After that, a little bit more layout. Finger, 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 finger. Now, time to carefully carve out along the marked lines. Slowly, without any rush, just follow the lines and clean up the wood. First by cutting along the line from the top and then undercutting the palm side to remove the material. If you have a small gouge, this would actually be easier and more precise than with a knife, but knife also worked fine. It just didn't give me the extremely clean surface afterwards as I was hoping, but it's okay. I wasn't planning to add too many details, but I wanted to add some kind of representation of finger knuckles. The first step is to cut angles on the knuckles and then slightly round the rest of the surface of the finger with a bit more rounding later. This part where I a bit screwed up by cutting a bit too much of the material than I initially planned, but it still looked okayish in the end. You need to repeat this for all knuckles, trying to keep finger width reasonably constant and proportional. This is a little bit of weakest point for me so far. With knuckles on the back of the hand, I had to resort to use my tiny shallow gouge, as getting there with just a knife was a bit more challenging than I wanted. But with the gouge it actually worked quite simple. Again, nothing here is perfect, and it's just approximately defining the existence of the feature, nothing that is actually very realistic. This is basically the whole process. It takes time to clean up everything carefully, but the process is mostly repetition on each finger, on each knuckle, and so forth. If you're venturous, you can actually add more detail to individual fingers, and this time I decided to add an illusion of the fingernail to my thumb. This is quite easy step if you have a proportionally sized gouge, just one cut from the top and a bit of cleanup around. Another detail I tried to add is indentation on the back of the thumb, just a few cuts. It didn't actually look too good, but detail is detail. Yay! Give me a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel.